Vote PEP.
One people under one flag.
It's time for change, it's time we vote in PEP.
Come on, let me fix it. We go fix it. Build a better TNT. Phillip, we go fix it. We go fix it. Because we vote in PEP.
Thank you very much. I do not want to speak loud. I do not want to make it. I think we have a problem with the sound bouncing off the building. We're getting a little feedback. I need to be mindful of that. I want a round of applause for David Welch and the audio team. They're doing their endeavor best. They did a great job. I want a round of applause for Lachman Ramrup, our national project coordinator. He's doing all of these things. Satish Ramsaran, party organizer. Everybody who spoke before. We've changed how we do politics. Before I go on, I'd like a round of applause for the police officers here securing us. The one people under one flag that we are, whether we accept it or not, that's who we are. The one people under one flag that we are is all of us. At the end of the day, we take off with clothes, we take off with uniform, and we climb into whatever we go to bed in at night. We are one people under one flag, suffering together. That's what we're doing. We're suffering together. We've not realized that we are the cause of our suffering. You hear a lot of politicians talk. The Progressive Empowerment Party has no MC. You introduce yourself. I am Phillip Edward Alexander. I am the political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party. We have Indira Singh Awai. She coordinates the movement of people on and off the stage. But we try to make this a serious, sober affair, always. There will come a time, I know, that I'll be standing on stages like this and we'll be speaking to tens of thousands of people. I know that. I know it is growing. I feel it. We feel it. All of you know. The Progressive Empowerment Party is on the tips of everybody's tongues. They know. The political parties, the PNM and the UNC, they're pulling out all the stops. There's no media here tonight. They'll take our broadcasts and they'll take our posts and they'll share it if they want. But Newsday, Guardian, Express, TV6, CNC3 and the Telecommunication Authority of Trinidad and Tobago that wrote Robert Amar, their job is like one of the OSHA and EMA and Integrity Commission and the alphabet soup of nonsense that don't work. The Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, they have one job: to manage the bandwidth and the broadcast of my country. It belongs to me. It belongs to you. It doesn't belong to SABGA. It doesn't belong to the PNM. It doesn't belong to the UNC. It doesn't belong to Dr. Prince or whatever his name, who is in charge of it for now. The Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago is supposed to ensure that all of us who are guaranteed our right to free speech and political expression, freedom of assembly by the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago are given equal time. That's his job. That's his job. And he may not know his job because more than likely he's a political appointee and he is doing what he needs to do to keep that job. But if you hire me to run this country, I'll fire him. And I'll fire him for not respecting the Constitution. I'll fire him for not respecting the citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, because he don't have to like me. I don't pay him, but I do as a taxpayer. but he will think it's Rowley paying him for now. So he don't have to like me, but he has to respect my rights. Under the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the 12 charters, 3 of them give me a right to be heard. Each of you have that right. It is what separates us from the despots and the dictatorships. It is what we have to fight for. And I wish the police officers could cover their ears for a minute. But the day they decide to try to take away our democracy, it is what we must riot for. We must stand and defend our Trinidad and Tobago from enemies, foreign and local. That's our responsibility as citizens. Robert talked about his 5 bread and his cup of tea. Watch me. I just, like all of you, like each and every one of you, I could be home. I had to walk out on that Argentina game. That was hard. I swear. And any Argentina fans are wrong. Know that. All you know, that country does break your heart. So you had to take your wins where you're getting it. I had to walk out of the Argentina game to reach here to do this. And as Felicia say, she don't know when next we're doing it. This is the 3rd of December. We could be in Parang and Paramin or something tonight. We could be, all of us, like in myself, out Lyman, down on the avenue or up in the cross or wherever it is, just go to vent at the end of the long, hard week of sufferation that Trinidad and Tobago is. And anybody who says that that statement is not true is a liar. Trinidad is not a good place to live right now. We have police officers who leave their homes, leave their families to go and put their lives in danger for strangers in a country where the Customs and Excise Division just admitted in this narco state, where a prime minister admitted there are 37,000 illegal guns in 2017, that 19,800 containers came into this narco state without being scanned, screened, looked into. We've shipped, ask these police officers, they will tell you, we've shipped billions of dollars of cocaine to the world. Trinidad has shipped cocaine to Spain, to Vietnam, to the Philippines. Trinidadian cocaine went to Norfolk, Virginia and Canada. Trinidadian cocaine was in a bottle of some soft drink that SM Jalil has made. I don't know how it ended up in that bottle. I'm not blaming SM Jalil, but it is their brand. And somebody in England drink it and it busts their heart in their chest. It was pure cocaine. We've shipped cocaine in Milo tins. I'm not blaming Nestle. But we ship cocaine out of a country that does not grow cocaine or does not make cocaine. So if Customs and Excise cannot stop cocaine and guns, why are we paying them? To frustrate the small importer who bringing in the little parts for your car, you bring in the little entertainment, something for yourself, clothes, whatever. Customs' job is to make the small businessman frustrate his life, don't understand your documents, take bribe from the apple and banana importer if you not paying a bribe, so your goods stay on the docks and rotten while they playing send and bring documents game. But if the customs, whose job it is to secure the nation from guns and drugs, not securing the nation from guns and drugs, why are we paying them a salary? We had 560 murders, give or take. We're in new territory. This is the highest we've ever been. We have practically a month of murder left. So we could set the bar very high where the bloodletting and death is concerned. And everybody knows we live in a country where everybody think when somebody get killed, he horning, she horning, he thieving, that one bribing. All is collateral damage in a country that hates itself. Eric Williams taught us that. Eric Williams taught us to hate ourselves. If you're black, stay poor and hush. PNM go take care of you. If you're Indian, you're a recalcitrant minority. PNM don't care about you. And that was the first message we got from independence. Not even the Queen was so bold-faced in their divide and rule. But Eric Williams, he stuck a dagger in the heart of national unity that we've been fighting to fix since. Syrian people, Chinese people, white people, and others who don't easily fit into black, African, or Indian, they have no say. So our politics doesn't work. And until you fix the politics, I told you all today, I put out a video about why our roads do not work. And Trinidadians are in shock that this information is available and nobody told them. And we literally showed them how roads were invented to be built by the Aztecs and the Incas and the Romans and the Persians and the Babylonians and the Mesopotamians. Those cultures, long gone, have left roads we still use. The Aztec Highway is a real thing from Argentina almost to Canada. It's real and it's there 10,000 years. Junior Sammy can't build a road that lasts 10 years. Kusal and Calco and all them who just get big contract, big name on big bright light flashing and can't build a proper road in the country. The Yankees built road in Chagaramas, Wallerfield and the North Coast in 2 years. That's still there. Sheldon Khan, where is Sheldon Khan, our representative for Point 14? I met Sheldon Khan on a section of the Point 14 highway that taken 20 years to build. In 2022, they're playing monkey games with all you. Because that should not be so. And we get to a point where we tell people if you burn tires and you protest, we're going to lock you up. And that is wrong. Because Eric Williams and Ellis Clark edited the Constitution to remove the things that Robert Amar is fighting for now. Things like referendum and recall. Because before the 1976 Republican Constitution, you could have fired Rowley. And for his absence for the flooding, he should be fired. For appointing Rohan Sinanan as Minister of Works, he should be fired. And that Rohan Sinanan, who is responsible for everything that went wrong in Manzanilla and has not been fired yet, but Rohan wasn't fired when he destroyed the forest to build a shortcut to Manzanilla, so we shouldn't be surprised that they fall in a swamp and mash up the river. These people don't care about you. When he went on tour, he was supposed to say, we need an investigation. But he can't say that because an investigation will go to his property. And they'll have to charge him. And whoever in the Environmental Management Authority told him he could go ahead and do it. You see, as long as you continue, and Robert said this, and I will say it too, because hear me, I happy with or without politics. In fact, my misery is politics. Look at me. You hear me when I talk. You know, there's nobody in the PNM or the UNC could debate me. I've said that before. That's not cocky arrogance. Everybody have a gift. This is my gift. And I would gladly debate them all. They've all offered me positions in their parties. I'm not in this for state work. I'm not in this for blue lights and to save some taxes on a fancy car like Simon the Nobrega to drive around and look like something more than I thought I was ever going to be in my life. And I call these names for a reason. Because we do not have one single government minister in this country today qualified to do the job. Not one. The Minister of National Security is a dunce. Fully dunce. He is the most fired person in this country's political history. All of that? Fitzgerald Hines has been fired from 21 public positions, and they're still hiring him. They're still hiring him. Now, to the sports people who suffering under Shamfa Kuju, that hard, but it's not hard like law enforcement who's suffering under Fitzgerald Hines. Because the most that could happen under Shamfa is he ain't get a chance in the Olympics, but they get put in danger. You can't be led in a serious situation by a fool. When you have people in this country who do not recognize that regardless of the color of your skin or the texture of your hair, we are all Trinbagonians. We are all one people under one flag. We are all deserving of proper representation and service. If you don't get that from your government, you must fire your government. That's our job. That's our job. And I told them when we were working out the budget, because Felicia will tell you that when we're working out the budget, anywhere I could save money, I will save money. I tell them, don't spend the money for the tent. If it rain, I have an umbrella. I have Bastille Pandey used to call it what? In the vineyards, suffering in the vineyards. I doing that. I listening to Mr. Man with the bar, jamming the music. If I was one of the police officers, I'd go and say, hey, these people have permission for a political party and you're disturbing the peace. Because the police job is to keep the peace. Hey, that's not how we talk. They are disturbing the peace. They are disturbing everybody. The real law in America, police officers don't have to come. In Trinidad, they write nonsense law and say until EMA come and tell you. But what the police will tell you is, if I am outside your establishment and I am hearing your music more than I'm hearing myself, you're disturbing the peace. And I wish one of the officers could go and ask him to turn it down. Because he is disturbing me. But this is Trinidad. And Akil said, when you stand up politically in this country, you put yourself at risk and in danger. You think the road contractors that get those billions of dollars to build those fake roads under the PNM and the UNC want you to know that the road fake? You think they want you to know that the reason the road's collapsing is because they put pitch on mud? People think that it is because water pipe below there. Water pipe shouldn't be below there. But people think that that is the reason. The reason the road's collapsing is something called liquefaction. And Rohan Sinanan don't know this. Probably can't pronounce this. But when you shake dirt enough, it turns to liquid by itself. It's called liquefaction. And Satish, we have any members here could go to the bar and ask them to turn down the music? Where's Felicia Holder? Where's the chairman? Felicia, could you call the police? there's a law, a natural law, that says my right to swing my fist stops at your right to not be hit in the face. And when we all learn that, we wouldn't have to have so many police officers standing outside here tonight, because everybody would respect everybody else. But we're not there. As a nation, we're not there. But we need to get there. And the only way we're going to get there is if we stop the racist division that allows the contract mafia, the organized crime that controls those politicians and allows for the destruction of our country. The day we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, stand up for each other is the day this country becomes what it was meant to be. Now, I want to tell you something. On the 25th of February, I'd like to give the bar a round of applause. On the 25th of February, I was in fire service headquarters because I went to make a noise because 4 little black children burned to death in Baraval next door to RBTT, RB, whatever it's called now. And they burned to death with the fire truck stand up right there, and the fireman tell me we don't have the tools to break down the door. So the world watched those children burn to death. And I went to make a noise. And when I was making that noise, the chief fire officer told his subordinates, call the police for me. So we left. The head of the Fire Service Association contacted me and said, everything you're saying, you're right. 1/3 of the fire stations in this country have no trucks. Most of the trucks driving on the road have no equipment. None of the firemen have self-contained breathing apparatus, which looks like scuba gear. It's the same thing. If you put a U for underwater, that spells scuba. But for firemen, it's self-contained breathing apparatus. And when you see our firemen outside the building, wetting outside the building, that's not firefighting. It's called firefighting because you kick down the door, you go inside, you find what is burning and you're out that. And then you're out the rest of the building. But they can't do that because we don't have those things. Anyway, so he had told me that he will come on a show with me tonight, the 25th of February. And Satish Ramsaran organized the show and we broadcast the show. On my way to getting to the show, I got a call from a gentleman who introduced himself as Nicholas Kerban. Nicholas Kerban called to tell me that an incident occurred at Paria and that 5 men were trapped in a pipe underwater and that nobody was responding to them. And they wanted me to make a noise so that people could respond, those in authority. The rest is, of course, history. But Nicholas Kerban is here tonight, and his mom is here, and if Nicholas still wants to come up on stage and say a few words to you all, I'd like him to join me. And Christopher Boudram is here. Christopher Boudram is the diver that was one of the 5. Because of this young man's bravery and courage, we found out that there were people trapped in that pipe. Because of this young man's bravery and courage, and he wouldn't take no for an answer. Because in my mind, I trying to deal with this fire service thing, but he telling me, boss man, you don't understand what it is I'm trying to tell you. This is Christopher Boudram, those of you all who don't know. If it were in my power he would have a national award, the Trinity Cross, or whatever we're calling it now. And I spent a weekend with these gentlemen. You all don't have to say anything. You have a case going on, it's up to you, right? Their parents are here. We have parents here. We have loved ones here of the divers. But I want you to know this. I spent that weekend down in Paria with them. This man was willing, after they found out that you couldn't go in the pipe because certain people with guns were standing up blocking it, they were willing to risk that because his dad was in the pipe and their friends and their colleagues. And I said, we're doing right now 9 nights. What's the time? 5 minutes away from lighting candles tonight because tonight is the 6th night, Akil. We have the candles here. If somebody could bring 4 candles and light it here for me, please, I'd appreciate it. At 7 o'clock, we're doing this every night. I see Satish have the candles. We're doing this every night outside the Red House because what took place in Paria, and I want you all to hear me say this, what took place in Paria should never have taken place. We as a nation, we failed. All of us, every single one of us failed, and we failed. We did not respond. When he called me on the phone, he insisted that I respond. And when we went down there and we were calling people, come out, please, come out. Because if we had come out in our thousands, I know this country, them politicians belly weak. They'd have find a way to rescue those divers. But we didn't. And that, Felicia and Satish could tell you, that broke me politically. I almost walk away from politics. I almost say then, you know what? It could burn down. I don't care anymore. If we could leave 4 citizens trapped in a pipe and not even try to rescue them, was the point. I want you all to meet Nicholas Gilbert.
Hi everyone. I'm Nicholas Kurban, Faisal Kurban's son. He was one of the divers in the accident. I just want to tell you guys, thank you for coming out tonight and showing support. All I have is my mom and Rishi wife here, but and Chris and the family. And other than that, we tried our best that day, and it was a situation after situation. It's like the devil himself was holding me back.
Christopher Buja.
I'm just taking this opportunity to tell Mr. Phillip, thank you for responding and bringing awareness to the whole country. Thank you, Mr. Phillip.
We didn't call them here. We never ever politicized this issue, even though we were, for all intents and purposes, first responders. The media wasn't there. The media wasn't there. I think we're having a problem here, David. But we were there. And we never politicized it. One of the divers that went for Christopher is and has been for a long time a Progressive Empowerment Party member, Ronald Ramuta. Give him a round of applause, please. I'm saying that tonight. We never talked that. I'm saying Anthony Henry, who was the PEP candidate for Komuto Manzanilla in 2020 and the head of the East Hub, is the uncle of Yusuf Henry, who was also in that pipe. It's only when we got down there we found out how connected our organization was to those people and what is going on now. Let me give you an example. In less time than it taking them from the event that happened in February to having a commission of inquiry in November, in less time in America, there was a fellow named Timothy McVeigh who blew up a building in Oklahoma. They found him, charged him, prosecuted, and executed him. In less time than it taken us to find out who is responsible. At the end of the day, somebody is responsible. And we in the Progressive Empowerment Party will never let this go. We want justice and we want compensation. Those families have been suffering beyond suffering. The length of time it is taking to address this issue is adding insult to injury. And that is why we are having the 9 nights outside the Red House, to let the state know that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we want justice and we want compensation for the families. I don't know how the rest of you all feel about the country now, but in a short 2-week period, this Trinidad and Tobago felt like it was being destroyed. It was being pulled and pushed in every direction. And when you looked around, there was nobody in authority. The people were left to their own devices. When I went down Manzanilla to see what happened, oh, let's take a minute.
Didn't know today would be our last, or that I'd have to say goodbye to you so fast. Didn't know today would be our last, or that I'd have to say goodbye.
In this audience tonight is Pauline Barrett. She is the mummy of Sean Luke. She comes to our meetings because she told Felicia she finds hope in what we're doing. And that's what people are looking for. People are looking for hope. They're not going to get hope until we free ourselves from the bondage of tribal, racist, divisive voting. Until we free ourselves from the apathy of living in a country and not taking responsibility to safeguard its democracy. Somebody said we are singing birds in an open cage. Fly free. Everything that we need to fix in Trinidad and Tobago, you have the power to fix in your finger. We could fix it. It is the Progressive Empowerment Party that gives you the information, not just what is wrong or who did it, but how it could fix. I want to welcome a new member to our shadow MPs, Orapooch East, Miss Marissa Passad. If you could join us for a minute, Marissa.
Hi, good night, everybody. This would actually be the first time I'm being introduced as Shadow MP, and it sounds pretty good. I want to thank Mr. Alexander for welcoming me to the PAP, as well as our family in the Progressive Empowerment Party. Forgive me if I am a bit anxious on the stage. I am not much of a talker. I am more of an action person. If I can get it done, I don't need to say anything. A few nights ago, I went in town to meet Mr. Alexander as well as a few other PEP members to light the candles for our divers of Trinidad and Tobago. But I didn't only light a candle for our divers. I also lit that candle for my husband, who passed just 2 days before these guys passed. And I used them as an example to cheer up my children, because I told them, I say, you know, your dad, we were expecting his death. We know he was sick, and the doctors told us, you know, look out for anything. But for these divers, it was so unexpected. So we lit those candles not only for the divers, but for everybody who got injustice in this country. Everybody who did not have a voice, and even if they tried to speak out, they were persecuted. They were shut down by this government, even by the opposition. And tonight we take a stand. We take a stand and shout to everyone to let them know that we are here and there are people out here that care. And we will shout and let everybody know that we as a people can do this. Justice for all. Justice for all in all categories of life. And I think I don't have anything much to say because Mr. Alexander said it all already. So I just want to wish everybody a good night and reach home safe. I thank you.
One people under one flag. It's time for change, it's time we vote in PEP. Come on, let me fix it. We go fix it. Build a better TNT. Phillip, go fix it. We go fix it. Because we vote in PEP.
And I want to welcome Marissa to our growing ranks. If you look at what we are doing, we are building out a movement of representatives on the ground who can help you fix what needs fixing. Our intention, that slogan, Phillip will fix it, that came from the people when we were just trying to help, we will make sure PEP will fix it, and all of our shadow MPs, you'll get to know them in your constituencies, and they will fix it too. And I just want to tell you one more thing. Trinidad is set up to fail. The way the police service, how the different departments are set up, how the RHAs in the health sector are set up, how many counties we have, how many constituencies we have, and how many regional corporations we have. Those are different numbers with different geographical controls so that there could never be communication. I'll give you two examples. Under the People's Partnership, there were 5 organizations with responsibility for cleaning the rivers, so nobody cleaned the rivers. Right now, if you drive down Arapita Avenue, you will see signs of a company named Unicom that is fixing sidewalks. Sidewalks is basic construction work, basic masonry work, and it should be handled by people in the community, not big shot companies like Unicom that got $100 million contracts to build, to renovate President's house. It should be for the small man. And we have a Port of Spain City Corporation, we have a Ministry of Works, we have a Ministry of Local Government, we have CPEP, we have URP, we have every single way that the government, this government led by Keith Rowley, who stood up in the parliament and said, when I went to Princess Building Grounds, when they was building Napa, 100% Chinese labor, nobody from Belmont, nobody from Cascade, nobody from Digger Martin. How quickly they forget. How quickly they forget when they get in that red house and they drink whatever that mad water is, that they forget that they believed that the man on the ground needed to get paid. You see, a progressive empowerment party government will abolish the way the police service is set up, the regional health authorities, the RHAs, all of it, and replace it with something called the Constituency Board of Supervisors. I'll explain this to you quick. There'll be a supervisor of public works, public utilities, healthcare, education, national security. So within your constituency and all of the 41 constituencies, the important things to manage your constituencies will be done in your constituency. Under a progressive empowerment party, there will be no more monster contractors, no more overnight successes. I, with my own eyes, witness under two different versions of the UNC, because the PNM already had their monsters. So when the UNC came into office, two different companies that between them didn't have a backhoe and a truck became monsters. And I'm not knocking people making money here, don't get me wrong, but share the wealth now. And a progressive empowerment party government will pass as a law all public works to be done in the constituency must be done by companies from the constituency, by workers who live in the constituency. You see, when you give Junior Sammy $100 million and he pays staff, the rest is to go and party at the Bellagio in Las Vegas on the private jet. But when you give a small businessman a mile of pavement to fix, he gets to take care of his family, pay his bills, and spend the money in the local economy. And everybody benefits. That's how it should be. When we give UDICOM payment for those sidewalks on Arapita Avenue, it not coming back into Woodbrook. And that's the problem. It's not that I care if Terence the Alsing wife making money. I don't care. I buried my father a couple weeks ago. I know this ends. When they buried Anthony Sabga, I wanted to go and knock on the coffin and say, you see, I tell you it ends. There are people who live in like you could take all, eat all, and carry it with you. But it ends. And our policies as people must be that if one of us starving, none of us should be happy. A country this powerful, this wealthy, this pregnant with potential have 10,000 homeless people in town. How is that possible? It is only because we've never had a proper government that was focused on the development of the people. We've witnessed negotiations for salaries where the government, through the chief personnel officer, cap it at 4%. But that is, for some of those workers, That is 2013, 2014, 2015 salaries. To increase your salary by 4% in 2015 for 2015 is different to increasing your salary by 4% in 2023 for 2015. You see, the cost of living in this country has gone up at least 50% twice. Look at the price of bread today. Look at the price of flour. Look at the price of gas. Look at the price of taxi fares. Contrast and compare what you could have bought and spent and done for your family in 2014 with that money and what you could do now. And if it doesn't add up, it's wrong. And then the Minister of Finance is coming to fool you because they're under real pressure. This government could collapse. They come in to tell you, we find $1,008,000,000. We in the black. You're in the black? With your own contractors, your own VAT refunds, and you're not paying workers properly. How does the black? How is that the black? This government has no clue what it is doing. But between the PNM and UNC, they're playing tit-for-tat games to leave you confused. We tell you, end the confusion. Let's vote into office a government whose policies are built on all of the people, one people together, all of us, hope and opportunity. When Felicia spoke about the people in the ghetto, they want a chance at a life. When children come out of school, they're supposed to be able to go forward either to university or to a career. We don't have that. We need to make that our reality. This is the formerly third wealthiest nation in the Western world. It was Canada, America, Canada, us, ahead of Venezuela, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, Panama, you name it. This country has been destined for greatness. We were on the cover of Time magazine. They referred to us as the Caribbean tiger. Look at us now. Broken. We owe everybody. We in debt. We cannibalizing what left of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. Norway, that found gas and oil 40 years after us, has the largest stabilization fund in history. It affects every stock market on the planet. Right now, people from Trinidad are in a desert in Qatar. And every time you turn on the tap, it have water. In Trinidad, you was up to your waist in water, and the only thing in your house dry is the pipe. The only reason it is continuing. What Robert said tonight, Robert Amar, and he's somebody I have a great amount of respect for. And what he said tonight, angrily, because he's been fighting this fight. I know Robert decades. And I'd go by Robert, and there'd be people sitting in the waiting room. And they're just there to tell him their problems, and they know if they come there, they'll get something. He's been trying. Robert, as an East Indian, created Kiskini Caravan, and he worked hard culturally. He's a man who don't see race and color. And that's why these things annoy him. So that's why he speaks so angrily. But he's correct about one thing. If we continue along this journey divided, we will lose. To fix it, we have to be one people under one flag. Akil Camps told you that. Trinbagonians, Trinidadians and Tobagonians, however you want to call it. But miss me with the nonsense of Afro and Indo and Syrian Trinidadian. Miss me with that. We have to be Trinidadian. Because most of us, even though they're forcing us to put those things in front of our name, will never see Africa, we will never see India. And if they try to send me, well, you know the joke, they gotta send me in parts. The only reason there's a Progressive Empowerment Party, and Ms. Holder, the chairman, said it, the only reason there's a Progressive Empowerment Party is that somebody has to stand up. And when we looked around, we realized it was us. So we are standing up. And we are asking everybody to stand with us, to stand together. Let us raise these issues. Let us unite the people. Let us offer real factual solutions to the problems that plague this nation. Let us use politics to end the sufferation. Let us unite as one people under one flag and fix Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
One people under one flag. It's time for change, it's time we vote in PEP. Come on, let me fix it. We go fix it. Build a better TNT. Phillip, we go fix it. We go fix it. Because we vote in PEP.
Phillip will fix it.
Vote PEP.
Didn't know today would be our last, or that I'd have to say goodbye to you so fast. I'm so numb I can't feel anymore. I'm praying you just walk back through that door and tell me that I was only dreaming. You're not really gone as long as I believe. There will be another angel around the throne tonight. Your love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight. Always made my troubles feel so small, and you were always there to catch me when I'd fall. In a world where heroes come and go, well, God just took the only one I know. So I'll hold you as close as I can, longing for the day when I see your face again. But until then, God must need another angel around the throne tonight. Your love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight, singing hallelujah.